This session is how to perform a promotion mid-pay cycle. I'm going to start this by actually performing the promotion on the employee. So we're going to pull up an employee and search for them. And we have Michelle here. We're going to look at Michelle's work assignment. And we see that she's a principal. We want to promote her, so we select the promotion action. There's lots of different actions that you can choose, and that come delivered, and you can create your own. Each one pops up with a unique form that's unique to that action and is unique to your specific needs, so you can add fields or take them away. I'm going to add an effective date of today, but you can use any future date or any past date, and the system has the intelligence built in to know how to deal with that. And I'm going to add a new position for this employee. But before I do, I just want to point out the compensation that is on their old position. And I'm going to give them a director of high school principals. And the compensation has changed. So now we're at $110,000, and every other element of the position that you want defaulted down will default down to this new work assignment that we're giving them. I click the submit button, and this promotion then gets routed for approval. The approval flow can be based on your specific needs, your school's needs, whether you want a different flow depending on the school or depending on any criteria within the position. If a classified has a different approval flow than a certified or a non-classified position, there's really no limit to the amount of different approval flows that you can have attached to a specific action. So once that has been approved, though, that new position will take effect on that employee. Let's go over to the contract side and take a look at what it's going to do. I actually pulled up somebody different than what I just did because I wanted somebody with some historical data. And I'm pulling up somebody who had a change on them that affected a contract change. So let's take a look at what this change was. Here's a listing of all the changes and all the actions that this employee has had. And we see that this employee had a work schedule action done on January 7th of 14. So with that in mind, we take a look at the fact that there's a contract one now, and that previous action done on this employee automatically created a second contract and terminated the first one. We have a different work schedule here. So let's take a look at the components that make that up. Here is the first assignment that they had, and it automatically put an end date in 1 day before the action. And here is the period amount that they were paid and the segment hourly rate that the system derived. And let's look at the second one. It starts on the date of the change automatically, goes through the life cycle of the contract. That's what's going to be paid out in total for this specific partial year contract and with a newly derived hourly rate. Now, the reason the system doesn't really care whether it's mid-cycle or beginning of a paid cycle is because every work schedule on every contract has, as part of its makeup, every day spelled out in the entire life of that 9, 10, 11-month contract. And every day, the system knows whether it's a work day that should be paid, a work day that should not be paid, a non-work day, whether it should be paid or not paid. So because of that, regardless of when you make a change, the system all automatically knows how many days were in the previous contract, how many days are coming up, what was paid out, what the reserve is, and what's yet to be paid out in the new position that was just assigned. So the system really doesn't care whether the change was made mid-cycle or the beginning of a cycle. It'll always stop and restart and recalculate the entire contract so that it's correct.